The Boston Celtics, first to the floor. Sam LaFrance is joining us from How About Them Celtics. Sam, the Celtics won a basketball game tonight down in South Beach, 103 to 91. The Miami Heat finally crack 90 points. Took them 3 tries to crack 90 points, and they finally did it today. How are we doing?
Let's clap it up. Good job. Good defense, Celtics.
Yes.
Clearly, that's what the message is they were humiliating themselves because they can't defend Miami. Now, big win. Nobody got hurt. That's the big takeaway. Well, the biggest of the takeaways, I should say. Drew is also a big one.
Yep. Yeah. Get in and get out of the next 15 games, I believe, after tonight without any injuries. And while gaining more healthy bodies would be good, specifically one giant Latvian body, which we'll talk a little bit about at some point. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's the place to start is Drew Holiday, 25 points, 10 for 15, 5 for 8 from 3, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, only 1 turnover, played 35 minutes. This was probably his best game of the season. It's his biggest scoring outburst of the season, and coming off a game where you really needed Drew Holiday to hit a couple shots for you late in that Thunder game, and he wasn't able to. Passed up some open looks under the basket in the Thunder game. I wonder if there was a self-reflection moment where he was like, I'm fucking Drew Holiday, dude. What are we doing out there yesterday? I can help this team. I can do more than just help this team. I can be like a massively impactful player night in, night out. And bang, we get the Dr. Evil celebration tonight. 1,000,000 3-pointers for Drew Holiday tonight. But yeah, it was great to see Drew Holiday show us what he can do.
That's what he did. He went in the mirror and just was like, man, and he just did the pinky thing. And all of a sudden he's got his lick back. He was the one that I noticed the most of just that man did not want to take a layup on Wednesday. they passed out. That was like playing 2K and accidentally hitting the A button, like the passes he was making out of layups. And today we saw a much closer version of Holiday to what showed up in the playoffs last year. And we can't forget how important he was game 2 of the finals in the Indiana Pacers series. Like he was in the running for real for conference finals MVP for a reason. Like he was doing crazy shit. He was making big plays. He was making big shots. And it was nice to see him set the tone today in a game where you knew you weren't going to have as much scoring without Jalen. Not to say Jalen was fantastic Wednesday, but he generally does give you a better scoring punch and shot creation. And they needed that aggressiveness from Holiday today. It was a nice reminder that he has that because this season we haven't seen him do it very much. You mentioned this being the biggest scoring day for him. The only other big one was against Memphis, and that was they were just being mean to him. They were treating him like Ben Simmons.
Yeah, they were bullying him in the Memphis game, and that's been a little thing in the back of my mind and Celtics fans' minds. It's like Drew Holiday was 60% from the corners last season. I think coming into tonight, he was 27% from the corners, and you expect to regress from 60% from the corners because that is just outrageous, but he has been an elite catch and shoot 3-pointer for his entire career, pretty much bang on 40+% every season. And tonight's been way off. And I've been hopeful that it's gonna start to tick up at some point. He's been people that have been this good at shooting for this long of a sample size over this long of a career don't typically have especially on the types of shots that Holiday was getting. I was able to talk myself into last season that maybe he is just a 60% corner 3-point shooter now because he's getting the best looks he's ever gotten in his life. As the 4th, 5th option, he's just in the corner. He knows what the job he knows what the job is. Just find that dude in the corner, fire away, and he was knocking it down. Hopefully this is the beginning of him turning it around, but almost what's more important is can he just hit enough shots where defenses don't start to do what Memphis did to him? And if they do that to him, and if they do that to Jalen, can they punish those types of coverages? Because the Thunder were kind of willing to pack the paint and live with Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday shooting threes. I don't think that was necessarily the game plan for the Heat. The Heat don't. While the Heat's got a good defensive roster, they held the Celtics to 103. I thought a lot of that was just to do with Tatum not being locked in and not having the Celtics running as efficiently offensively. But like Wiggins, Bam, Davion Mitchell is a dog. Like I don't think it's a good return for someone as good as Jimmy Butler, but it's a really nice defensive piece. He had a couple of big threes tonight as well. Like you got to earn it on the offensive end against this Heat team, and so for Drew to help loosen up that offense in the first quarter, like in that first quarter, he had 10, 4 for 5, 2 for 3 from 3. And like you said it, man, like he was in the running for finals MVP as well. I'm not sure he was never really going to get it, but he was your third best player in both the conference finals and the finals last year. Like you're going to need this guy to win a title in an NBA season that now has two teams that are going to like win 70 games.
You know what's funny is today the clip went around of Brandon Jennings being like, "Yeah, I was I was always better than Drew Holiday." I probably would not have had the balls to ask him if I was there, but I am curious if he did see that and was like, "MJ, take it personal today," because he, like you said, came out right away. By the time it was halftime, he had 16 points already. The narrative was somebody needs to help him. Like, how much help does Drew Holiday need? All of it. I mean, nobody gave him anything in the first half. And he was just locked in, man. Like, this is the best version of him. He was bodying guys down low. He was hitting those little fadeaway shots in the post. I would like to see, oddly enough, more quick post-ups for Holiday because that's where he really made the most of everything in the playoffs last season. And obviously you saw how effective it was. He hasn't been a great three-point shooter this year, even though I think we're all rooting for him to kind of revive that. If it doesn't work out, he can still be effective in those small, quick. I mean, they put him in the dunker spot. He can make good decisions on the quick catch too. Like, you have to use all of his strengths there because he is a very versatile guy, even though they haven't asked much of him this year. I do wonder if, as he continues to heal off the mallet finger, if they'll ask him to do more and more.
Yeah, dude. Drew Holiday in that short roll, he's such a good short roll, like, point guard. The fact that you can be a pseudo big man from that position because he can bully guys down low, the offensive rebounding, the decision making down there, really, really important. Yeah, I wonder how much of that is. It's a good question. Was it the bad performance in the Thunder game, or was it Brandon Jennings thinking that he was a better player than Brandon Jennings or than Drew Holiday? Because that is, I looked it up here. So Brandon Jennings' awards column on his Basketball Reference is rookie season, rookie of the year. He was third in rookie of the year voting. Drew Holiday, All-Star, sixth man of the year in 2015-16, 16th place, 7th place in defensive player of the year, several defensive player of the year, top 10s, another All-Star, a plethora of all defense selections. Brandon Jennings actually never even averaged more than 20 points a game in any season, despite playing, how many? 35 minutes a night, 36 minutes a night. Brandon Jennings shot below 40% from the field in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's a below 40% field goal shooter for his entire. Oh, great call on the chat here. I came out of
the playback. Gotcha.
Playback. If you're not on the playback streams, firstly get in there. But they do this dumb thing where they lower your microphone volume.
It's mean.
So my bad. Thank you, chat, though. Thank you, chat. Appreciate you. But yeah, Brandon Jennings, objectively way worse than Drew Holiday in pretty much every metric, I would say, besides cool dribble highlights for TikTok and Ball Don't Stop Twitter. But other than that,
no Drew Holiday is a problem. Mixtapes for him.
Yeah, you know what? I think you could make a pretty good Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday's a problem mixtape, but I'm not sure he's qualifying for the Hooper pilled, audience out there. Not quite the. You don't see many sham gods from Drew Holiday, which is maybe his downfall from Hooper TikTok. But yeah, man, Drew. I know I was in the Garden Report chat talking some shit about Cater. We'll get to Cater in a little bit here, but yeah, Holiday player of the game, gives you a lot of confidence going forward, or at least makes you feel good that this guy's still in there. Because I've been like, just anytime he does anything, good or bad, medium, I'm like, is the finger a problem? Because it's like, it's hard to blame the finger at all when you see he had a pretty good game 2 games ago, and then obviously you see this game tonight. Like, he can clearly play with it. So I'm not worried about the finger necessarily.
The key to being a good shooter is apparently mallet finger. You get mallet finger. I'm such an idiot. I just had the game logs up and I took them down. It was like on, off, on, off. I just want to look at the 3-point numbers. We'll pretend we'll just say that they're good. It feels like knee-jerk eye test feels like, aside from Wednesday, they've been very good since he came back. He looks a little bit more comfortable putting it up. Again, what you said is very true. Like, him showing he's got this is very important, not only because of just what you're looking to do in the spring, but going forward, kind of sitting here and being like, man, they gave him an extension and he hasn't been as great as you would have hoped this year, as durable as you would have hoped. Still 4 more years of that. And going to the summer with new ownership.
3 more.
3 more.
Still a lot.
Sorry.
Still a lot.
You're like a little worried. You're like, well, they're going to have to move off him. And it may still be the reality. I think it would suck. I mean, you do what you have to do. It's not my money. So I don't care how much money they spend, but they care. So it may be his final stretch here.
Yeah, and that's why he's been in the trade machine, is because we know what's potentially coming with the salaries and the roster and the luxury tax and the second apron. I've been pretty steadfast that I'm confident that Drew's going to be impactful in the playoffs, even for his just for his defense alone. Like, you go back to that Cavs game where Sam Hauser's getting hunted over and over by Donovan Mitchell. Like, I wouldn't say Mitchell's like the best matchup for Drew Holiday, but Drew Holiday still is obviously going to be a more impactful defender than Sam Hauser, which is not a slight on Sam Hauser, I don't think. But yeah, he just you want a good showing for Drew Holiday for the playoffs, because it's very likely you're going to have to move off him. And can a team talk themselves into the veteran leadership, someone like the Magic, who just continue to shit their pants offensively. I think they're 28th on the season on offense. KCP's done nothing to help their offense because, shooting's cool, but you still need creation, and Drew Holiday can provide a little bit more of that. But we'll talk about Cater, because it was actually interesting because he closed the game over Luke Cornett. They closed with double bigs. Luke Cornett was the starter with Horford in the double big lineup, and Cater ends up playing, about a minute longer than Luke Cornett and closes the game. I'll give you the floor to start here with old Nemesis Cater. How are you feeling about our fourth?
It's really hard to logistically come up with reasons that this happened, because the instant knee-jerk thing would be he is more apt to compete with Bam down low. But I don't know if that's really true, because Luke is a big body too. Like, that guy is fucking strong. The thing with this game is, it was kind of weird. Like, it was just a strange game. Maybe Missoula is trying stuff. He's trying to see Nemi in situations going forward to see if he's worth playing in the playoffs. But, this wasn't even, one of the Nemi games where you look at the stat sheet and you're like, oh, man, 4 of 4 and 10 rebounds off the bench. What a dog. It was
0 for 2,
man.
baby.
0 for 2. Guy can't finish at the rim. It was so funny. I was sitting watching this with my dad, and my dad goes, Nemi has just drawn a foul. His attempt for his lone points of the night. Yeah. He goes, yeah, this guy's pretty good, huh? It's like, well, he foul. To my dad's credit, he says he does need to kind of tighten it up on defense. He does foul a lot. My dad was sharp to that.
There we go.
I was like, well, he's really not good at finishing around the rim. Then NBC Sports Boston dunked on me and put the graphic of his season stats, and it was 65% from the field. And I was like, what? He's that good from the field? But
that's
it
bad,
feels like,
though. That's bad for someone
a guy
that
taking
shoots,
layups and dunks. It's not that great, and he could be a lot better. And he's not really. He's the kind of guy that you can sit and convince yourself, keep working on him, keep developing him, and maybe he becomes something. Maybe Missoula was mad that Luke took a 3 today. He was like, shame on you. That was embarrassing for all of us. Now, all those people that are like, why doesn't Luke take threes? are going to be like, he took one that game. Luke took like a Curry sprint out three. It was so bizarre.
Well, it was late shot clock, and it didn't look like he had the handoff. I can't believe that's the three that he took, because I've been because that's exactly the situation. I'm like 7 seconds or less, wide open, take him. But it was just, he rushed it. He airballed it, and now I'm sad because
right in front of his own bench.
Right in front of his own bench. So sad. And everybody was pumped. His 1 3-point attempt of the season. So, yeah, look, Cater, I'm going to try and pull up like some centers. They're playing at least 7 minutes per game here. You got to get like Rudy Gobert's shooting 65% from the field. So I guess if that's your comparison, but Rudy Gobert is one of the more frustrating offensive players in the NBA, like by a mile, that plays field minutes, right? Like Luke Cornett, I think, is shooting what? He's shooting field goals 60. Maybe I'm the problem here. 66.5%.
Maybe it's me.
I don't know, man. I have eyeballs, and I know when Cater shoots the ball, sometimes it's a complete disaster. But I also have to remember, this is in the context of he just came off a two-way. Was supposed to be your fifth center coming into the season. He got promoted to fourth because I can't believe we still don't see Tillman. I don't know. I just want to know for myself that Tillman's knees are cooked. Like, can we just see him play a couple of real games so I can just go back to normal and be like, okay, I can accept it. Tillman's knees are cooked, and that's that. Like, it is what it is. I know, Cater he's only 26, but he has been in the NBA for a while. Like, his rookie season was the age 22 season. So, total minutes now in the NBA, he's up to 1,200 minutes played. Obviously, Luke's going to have a lot more than something like that. But he's been around NBA teams now for 4 or 5 years. So he's been around. Luke Cornett, 5,000 minutes. But also Luke Cornett is 3 or 4 years older than Cater. It's not like Cater's played nothing, but look, for your fourth center that you're developing slowly, that's fine. And I think that's what this is. That's the reason, because there's no actual basketball reason. If you're trying to win the game tonight, you go with Cater over Cornett. I think it's one of two things. One, you're trying to develop Cater. Two, I think you're just trying to challenge this team a little bit. It's like playing a video game on expert mode. You put Cater out there, and you see if they can still win the game. Like, maybe it was just to twist the knife against Miami. It's like, you guys can't even beat us when we're playing Cater out there.
It's just like Nemi, the buzzer goes off, and Nemi checks in, and Joe's just staring into Spoelstra's soul on the other bench, just like, what are you going to do, man? Like, you guys suck now. You also really miss Luke's connectivity. Like, guy has been unbelievable throwing passes out of the short roll this year. Nemi, that man hates a pass. You get him the ball near the restricted area, he'd rather draw 25 than kick it out. There was a play, I want to say it was against Sacramento. I called the Jazz Sacramento like 20 times just because of the uniforms they wore on Monday, and I can't get it out of my fucking head. There was a play where he pivoted, and then finally kicked it to Hauser in the corner for a three, and you're just like, man, that could happen 3 seconds ago.
The processing's a lot slower than Cornett's, and part of that, as I just laid out, Cornett has played 5,000 NBA minutes, and Cater has played just over 1,200. So that's totally fair. And Cornett really improved as a decision maker over the past year and a half here. So I do want to give Cater grace. I personally don't see it as far as a guy that's going to be able to get to the level of processing that Luke Cornett is at. Like, Luke Cornett, without hyperbole, is one of the more skilled processing offensive bigs in the league now. If he was on the Lakers, that would transform their team. Him and Luka Doncic and LeBron James would make sweet, sweet magic, similar to how Tatum and Luke Cornett make as well. But to Cater's credit, the Celtics were a 12.79 net rating in his minutes this season coming into tonight. I think a lot of that has to do with playing with Jason Tatum and playing with a very talented roster. But your fourth center gave you another game where you win. So I can't be too hard on Cater. I don't like watching him play. I don't like watching him play. But I can also understand the context of he's not supposed to be very good right now. And that's okay.
It's just so funny. It's like, you gotta give him a break, but I fucking hate watching the guy.
I can't do it.
I'd rather put forks in my eyeballs and see 88 take the floor. I mean, I get it. Yeah, I think just the team loses a little bit of trust in ball movement and things like what. It's just the things that we can't really see. It's the feel for the game. I think that like you notice, but you don't really know how to like put it into words or go and look for it on the stats and NBA.com. Like you just don't know where you can find the evidence to somebody that didn't watch the game. But it's true that you just don't have the same sort of juice. But, you know, they got the job done. He was +9 in this game. Hauser and Walsh were both negatives. So he was he was a beneficiary of some good run that they went on at the very least.
Yeah. And look, there's value to trying to develop Cater. If you want to develop a young player, you have to accept the growing pains. And there's definitely an argument to be made to be developing these young guys. Does it frustrate me that we're willing to work through the growing pains of Cater, but we're not willing to work through the growing pains of Walsh and Shireman, at least this season? Yes, that does frustrate me. Like, Walsh got his 7 minutes, and I thought that he struggled tonight. And I thought that's why he didn't play in the second half. But it's like, Cater really struggled in the first half too, but he got to play in the second half. So I'm not sure how I can reconcile those two things, but getting caught up in that is probably a waste of time for everybody. So let's talk about how Al Horford's still just like, is he like kind of ramping himself up for the playoffs, do you think? Because like last 5 games coming into tonight, 14, 9, 3 assists, 65% true shooting, just like a beast defensively. And tonight, like the numbers weren't eye-popping, but they kind of were at the same time. You're getting 9 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, a block, 32 minutes from Horford. Like defensively was fantastic again. Had that awesome block on Hero. Like Horford
took his shoe off.
Took his shoe off. So you should get extra plus-minus points for that. But yeah, man, do you think this is like him just getting himself ramped up a little bit?
It might be. It might be. I mean, Porzingis hasn't played in 8 games now, so he's just being asked to take on a little bit of a different role more consistently too. The defensive and rebounding stuff doesn't really come up in that. I don't think like, yeah, you're going to have to hit the glass more, but anytime he's on the floor, that's kind of his job. More so now though, like you're seeing him get more looks down low. It feels like he's getting those quick little turnaround hook shots off. He missed one, they got the rebound, put it back on, scored today, which was good. I like seeing him score down there because we haven't seen it a lot over the last season and a half or so because they're just not asking him to do that. Just catch and shoot out and be ready. I like seeing that he can still do it because I think it's important to have that little added aspect of the game. The same way it's still big when Drew does it. Like you have that extra layer you can go to maybe on a night like Wednesday when the threes just aren't really working for you. Not that you weren't creating good looks, but they're not falling. And sometimes you have to like just adjust a little bit. Maybe just when you need a bucket, go to something like that. Is Horford post up your guaranteed bucket play? No, but it might catch them off guard. There's places for it. And seeing him do that, maybe it gets him up a little bit more on the other parts of the game where you're seeing that defense, you're seeing him block shots, you're seeing him hit the glass harder than usual. I think when we go to the playoffs here and we all look at this, you're going to need that, just like Holiday. Like this is almost like a parallel line happening right in front of our faces. You've got this guy that is unbelievably versatile in the things that he can do despite his age. He's been such a huge factor in playoff success in years past. And he's just kind of like showing his hand a little bit, being like, hey, everybody, like I still have this. Don't target me. The Cavs tried to target him a couple Fridays ago or whatever, and he continues to just stick with Garland. The Lakers try to target him. Like these teams are like going out of their way, looking at all the guys on the floor for the Celtics to be like, him, like that guy, the guy that's just made a living on clamping dudes in the playoffs. Yeah, we're going to go with him. Good luck.
Yeah. You'd think they'd learn by now. I guess they're thinking he's 1 year older. Surely this fuckery can't last forever. And you know what's incredible? Like, he's not playing as many minutes as LeBron, but it's like Horford just hasn't been injured at all. I mean, the big toe sprain, obviously, which I'm sure
is tough, man. Dude's been dealing for 2 years. Can't get healthy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that big toe sprain. So the fact he's able to do this without a left big toe, it's tough. Put it on the Hall of Fame resume. won a chip without a big left toe. Very impressive. But Horford, another solid game. I don't expect to see him tomorrow, obviously. They have a weird soft part of the schedule here where they play the Nets tomorrow, which is kind of a tricky back-to-back because they're playing in less than 24 hours from now. It's like an early start.
Yeah, they haven't left the arena yet.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then they have 2 days off before another Nets game, and then 2 days off again before another Jazz game, I think.
Nets.
Right?
Nets Tuesday.
But 2 days off again, and then Jazz.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have Jazz late in the week. I think Friday they play them. So
correct.
I love the West Coast. Just kidding. I fucking hate when they go out there, man. Especially like this trip. They're going to go play Utah. They're going to play Portland. Portland at least has a decent hour. Then they play Phoenix and Sacramento. Like, I don't care.
And look, I know Tatum enjoys playing against KD, so those games should have a little bit of juice, maybe the Suns games. But for all intents and purposes, the regular season ended after the Thunder game, and now it's just enjoy the basketball, and it's easy
like
to enjoy
playoff season.
Yeah, exactly. So Tatum's been ramping up the minutes. I'm trying to wonder, I know he likes to get a taste for the playoff minutes before the playoffs actually start. So we've seen that in the Lakers game, 45, 42 minutes against the Thunder, and then he played 37 tonight. I doubt he'll sit tomorrow. He hates sitting road games, which every time people ask him about it, you have to respect it, because every time he answers it, he talks about how kids have got tickets to see him for a birthday and Christmas. He legitimately cares about that, and I think it's very, very cool. But he clearly kind of delivers them at least a little slither of coal at the same time, because when those are the games that he probably should be resting, he tends to play like he did tonight, in that he was not locked in the slightest. He still kind of sleptwalk his way to 28 points on 58% true shooting, which is very solid. 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 turnovers, emblematic of how he approached the game, I thought. Because the Heat, if you're not locked in, they will do that to you still. They have the ability they were attacking him on the dribbles when he was posting up and stuff, but he's very talented. And so they still won his minutes. He was a plus 10 tonight. So still quite good when Jason Tatum was on the court, but I'm sure you agreed that it was probably a game he could have taken off.
It's like the kind of game you need to look at in segments. First half, bad. Third quarter, really good. Fourth quarter, it really didn't matter when he came back in because Derek White had already decided to turn up. It was not Tatum's place to try and do things. So here's what I'll say about the away game thing. I understand it. His logic is not flawed. It's a back-to-back tomorrow. I just fucking sit, dude. I don't need to see you play against the Nets. If a kid that is living in Brooklyn wants to see you that bad, the train's 4 hours. It's 4 hours. Jack's going to the game tomorrow. He's taking a bus. You can see Tatum again if you're a child in Brooklyn. And I also I somewhat have a problem with this where if you're playing at home, there are kids that got Christmas fucking presents to see you at TD Garden too. Play those games if you
Well, he plays in pretty much all the games.
I don't have a problem with him playing in games. It's just Tatum has played all the games for years. The Celtics have played until at least May for years. He played in the Olympics. Let's take a little bit of a breather. I don't need to see you going crazy, but I don't know, man. I also am a believer in his body gets conditioned to play, and continuously playing is good for the body because it's used to it. Jalen is the one I really care about if he sits or not. Jalen, sit the fuck out. You're clearly hurt. Somebody was saying, OU, I think, was saying it earlier, he looked like he was hurt on Wednesday. He's definitely hurt. He's hurt. Yeah. He sat down at the Jazz press conference on Monday and winced, as he sat at the podium. Just sit out, man.
It's funny because Jalen wants to be the I play every game guy as well, but it speaks to just the types of how rare it is to be a Tatum type Iron Man, the LeBrons, the Jokic's. Anthony Edwards has kind of become one of these guys as well. Most guys can't play 70 plus games every single season at 35, 36, and the level of two-way impact that they give. And Jalen wants to be, which I respect, but he's a 66, 67 game guy, 68, especially at the moment. Because I'm with you. I do think he did. I think good for him and like not use the knee as an excuse in the Thunder game, but and said that he felt good in that game. But he's mentioned it enough that I don't think that it's nothing. And tendinopathy is just an overuse injury. Like if you get a scan on your knee, nothing will pop up, and that's essentially what tendinopathy is my understanding of it from being diagnosed by a physio for having hip tendinopathy. I'm like, I'm not even using my hip that much, but I am not Jason Tatum. I would be playing much closer to 7 games than 70 games if I played in the NBA. That's for sure. But yeah, Jalen just needs to accept that he's not Jason Tatum and just like probably take tomorrow off as well. I'm guessing we see Jalen tomorrow though, would be my guess. But then you get 2 days off and then 2 days off and then 2 days off against like 3 squishy opponents.
But
so that should be a nice spot for him to kind of get right.
I agree. I just think I don't need to see Jalen. I didn't need to see him today. Don't need to see him tomorrow. Don't even need to see him Tuesday. If he needs like an extended week off just to feel right, I think him feeling right is very important because if he's playing hurt, he is just not going to have the type of games he needs to have to build confidence. Like, let's not pretend Jalen's been what we all expected him to be this year. I think he's been a little bit inefficient, hasn't made threes very well. And for the Celtics to be the best version of themselves, he needs to be able to believe in himself in the playoffs. Not to say he's the type of guy that's going to lose confidence. Like, he had a really good answer the other day after the Utah win where he kind of started slow and finished strong. He was like, when I miss shots, it's just information. It's like they're guarding me this way, they're guarding me that way. You miss. It's just part of it. But I feel like the threes are something that is sticking with him because he's just been real cold lately.
Yeah, but it's funny. He had kind of been on an upward trend into that Thunder game, which was disappointing. But it was like, I agree that with Jalen, that he doesn't feel right physically because it kind of matches my eyes. But the production had started to go up. Like the true shooting, I think coming into that Thunder game was like 58, 59%. And for Jalen, that's awesome. Like anytime Jalen's above 56% true shooting, that's kind of perfect for where I need him to be. But yeah, so you're copping it from Derek in the chat here. I don't really think you're being that negative to me.
I think the Celtics are horrible. They should punt this. I mean, I've been saying they should tank to get like the 7th seed just so they don't have to play home games because they've been so horrible the whole season at all. You want the negative takes? We'll go in, man.
Yeah, don't get him started here.
Don't
That's true. Me. What was it last time? Oh yeah, Sam Hauser is.
I was wrong on that one. That one I pronounced him dead, and then all of a sudden that dude started making threes.
You bullied him into playing better.
I'll take credit.
We should appreciate it. I think out of anything, probably gone too long since we mentioned Derek White here. We'll start with a video from the playback room earlier.
On the 24, White's gonna have to be the hero again. Derek White. That's what he does.
What? The Heat killer.
On the 24.
It's not twice. Each shot that he got more insane as time went on. Because he didn't have the classic Heat killing game, but then. And if you're a Heat fan, you're like, oh my God, finally Derek White's like having a normal game against us. And then he doesn't end the night like super efficient, but he hits 3 ridiculous threes in the fourth quarter. The first 3 that he hit, the Celtics were down 78-79. He hit that ridiculous pull-up on a switch. And the next one was a bailout from the logo in front of Bam, which we just watched. And then he hit one more as well. I mean, I don't even know because both of them were so ridiculous. No, the third one was also insane, a bit more normal. Just insane how he continues to do this.